No, this was a
Good evening. Today is Monday, March the 10th, 2025. This is a work session of the School Board Trustees of the School City of East Chicago. The time now is 6:15. The place is the School City of East Chicago Administration Building, 1401 East 144th Street, East Chicago, Indiana, 46312. This is also being shown via live stream at www.scec.k12.in.us. This is the meeting of the school board in public for the purpose of conducting the schools corporation's business and is not to be considered a public community meeting. Before we start, I'd like to give a moment of silence to one of our superintendents that we had here in the city of Chicago, and his name is Dr. Joe. So we have a moment of silence, please. And now we have the agenda items. Madam Madam Secretary, roll call.
Trustee Gomez.
Present.
Present. Trustee Rodriguez.
Present.
Trustee Taylor.
Present.
Madam President Gibson King.
Present. And this meeting is about our pre-board meeting. Superintendent Dr. Stevens Bornay.
Good evening, School Board. If we can proceed to go over the agenda, the items in your board packet.
Oh, tomorrow. Oh, okay.
Questions regarding Section 4, the consent agenda. Any questions regarding the items in the consent agenda? Item 4.01 is distribution of payroll.
Yeah, you got some items on the distribution of payroll, Diane? On the payroll, distribution of payroll,
Or the claim docket.
or the claim docket. What about the claim?
Questions regarding the approval of claim docket? Questions?
I just have a quick question. Someone could just explain to me or just give me some insight on what is CSC Consulting Group and what are they used for?
That is our network and server consulting company. We in the district currently don't have top-tier network engineers. So that's our, kind of our third-party outsource company that does the engineering stuff.
Want to know who they were?
Yeah.
Okay,
I just have one more, sorry.
oh, go ahead, hon. Go ahead, trustee Taylor.
And if someone could just shed some light on how or what we use, is it Brahman or Brayman Insurance? Am I saying that correctly? That would be, I think I got the check number, 117411. Not sure what the page is, sorry.
It's a monthly payment. Bremen Insurance is the district's insurance that covers the bus drivers, covers the buses, covers the school board, basically. It's a whole district. It covers the whole district, yes, as a whole. Breakout in the fires, anything, is our whole district insurance.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, on
I'm having
page
problems
14.
pulling up.
Page 14,
Hold on a
yes. Can you
Hey,
hear me?
George, can I
Can
get
y'all
your,
hear me?
get the other email, Wi-Fi, because this Wi-Fi is not working for me right now.
Yeah, that don't sound like nobody can hear us.
The other Wi-Fi? Trying to use this one, but it's not working. Oh, any of my, devices.
Did you need a hard copy?
Yes, can I get a hard
Sure.
copy? I don't know device.
You said page 14.
Yes, page 14. The number is 117417. It's at the end of the page.
That's check number 117417.
Yes,
Yeah.
this was the week that Davis staffing was in the district.
Yes, my question is, how many days were they in the district?
Total that week was 4.
4 days. And we're not still using them, are they?
No, at this time, we're not.
Okay. Let's see.
I have a question. Page 2. I'm sorry, page 3. Claim 383380, 383381, 3382, and 3411. I'm all the way down to 83413.
Special ed contractors.
I'm sorry. Oh, okay.
So this is all Tammy Poles?
Yes.
Even the eyes caring, what is this? What do they do?
Eye caring, I do believe, don't quote me on this. I am not for sure. I'm not gonna even say what I think they do. I get a little bit more into that one. That one just popped up. We don't use this one. This is like the first time she used that one. I will get into detail for you on the eye caring.
Okay, and do we get the itemized on these items, 83380 and 83381 and 83382?
Yes, they are in the invoices that I sent over.
Internet issues?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh,
Right there.
okay.
It might be, the itemized, they were in the invoices. I think they were like.
The reason I'm asking is because I normally have them in my board pack. Board, yeah.
Oh, okay. Diane, you can bring them out.
Yeah, I just said I normally do have them, but I don't, that's what I'm asking about. Did we? Uh-huh. Okay,
The invoices were shared Friday at 1.
Tammy's on her way in.
Oh, is that Miss Tammy here?
hi.
It might have another.
I'm so sorry, it doesn't look familiar, but it's probably, sometimes it was that, yeah.
Okay.
We can follow up with the, this question by tomorrow before the board meeting.
Okay, are there any more questions from the board?
I had some.
Yeah, go ahead, trustee Smith.
I'm sorry. Trustee Smith, do you mind if I actually do have an answer? I'm looking at the invoice packet. Hearing Eyes is a teacher of the visually impaired.
Who now? A teacher?
A teacher of one of our students
Oh.
is visually impaired.
Okay, that's what you said.
It was something like that.
And I'm sorry, go ahead, Trustee Smith.
Just one student there. Hurry with.
Are we still on there?
Yeah, you want to, you finish or you?
Yeah, I just needed some, questions on page 21, claim docket 83499. That's a contract that we have.
Could you give us the number again?
83499,
Yes.
that's the first one here.
21, page 21.
What do they do? Um,
It's not working on the phone.
That item, trustees, is a consultant contractor we use for IEP writing services.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the claim docket? Madam President, should we go on to 4.04
Yeah,
donations?
yeah, we can go on, I'm sorry,
Yes,
Dr.
go
Bonet.
ahead.
Yeah, questions for 4.04 donations? Questions for 4.05 fundraisers?
No questions for me.
If there are any questions for consent agenda, we can move to new business. New business item 5.01 is the personnel report. Questions regarding the personnel report?
Audience or from the board?
I have a question, I guess when Tammy Cole comes back, oh, here she comes.
Found them. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So I have a question, Ms. Pohl.
Not so fast.
Okay, I'm not gonna call the name off. But it's listed here, a medically fragile person, a student that requires full-time nurse.
That's actually a Dr. Yander's question.
Oh, it
For
is?
nurses, yes. Mm.
Oh. Oh, okay.
We did transfer a school nurse to make sure one of our students who are medically fragile have a full-time nurse. So that is the purpose, but that's the recommendation for that transfer.
Yeah, but, does this person have an IEP? The person? To have. Yeah, but I'm reading here that it's like as if it's a student, just one person. Is this?
No, so you know Lincoln has,
Yeah, I know, right, right.
so we had to make sure that that nurse left.
The nurse is gone.
Nurse, yeah, retired from Lincoln. Another nurse went to that make sure.
My question was it in their IEP? The students, don't they have to have these things in their IEPs to say what they recommend as the services?
Yes,
That's
the
the question then.
services, the nursing services are in there.
Yeah, but I mean, to read this, medical fragile, because it gives me the impression that this is just one person that's being
No.
serviced.
No,
And since it's not, then it should be in whoever is getting service IEP to say that this is the service that is needed for this individual. That's what I'm saying.
what you're saying.
Yeah,
Like, we do have a couple students that,
uh-huh.
but this is a nurse that's. That we didn't have, have somebody to attend to quite a bit of.
Okay, that's my question, because, yeah, but just looking at this, reading it, you see what I'm saying? That's why I'm asking that question. Okay, thank you. Mhm.
I have a question, Madam President.
Yes.
It's, page 2. Excuse me. Dr. Bonet, this is, directed toward you.
yes.
Some of us, we know what a CEL is, and some of us don't. So if the community sees that, can you just kind of explain what a CEL is?
Yeah, so CEL is the job title for a community engagement liaison,
Community liaison?
the community engagement liaison.
Don't we have one?
Yes, so that was a vacancy. So, one of the block community engagement liaison resigned approximately in December. So this is replacing that person.
Okay, so just
Can we just have
future.
it spelled it out?
kind of give us like a description, why that person was hired, that, why that position was filled, so nobody won't be, thinking we're just rehiring, it's just a replacement. And that was about it. Oh, and kind of like, instead of abbreviation, can you just like put,
Spell it out.
Fill it out.
appreciate it.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Okay, are there any more questions from the board pertaining to the personnel report? I have just one question, I think, but I could, I'll ask it later. Thank you.
Okay. Item 5.02 is an MOU with Center for Workforce Innovation. And this is a revised MOU. I can defer to our attorney, Mr. Harris, to speak to the changes. CWI will be at tomorrow's board meeting to give an update.
Oh, okay, I was gonna ask for that. Thank you.
So just to provide a quick overview, I think this topic actually came up before regarding the status of this agreement. And the long and short of it is that the term needed to be extended so that this arrangement is still alive. It's basically the same understanding. The deal hasn't been restructured in any way, and again, there is a subsequent agreement that would need to be entered into. This is just the MOU to get us to the point that there would be an agreement to discuss. So I would describe this phase of the MOU as still determining the feasibility of a long-term arrangement to make use of that facility under the programming that would be created by CWI. But the most important provision in this particular MOU is paragraph 3 that takes the agreement to, or takes the MOU to June 30th of this year.
Like you said, they will be giving an update.
They'll be providing an update, yes. Yep.
Now, this is, excuse me, for the facility out in Carrigosh. Carrigosh.
Yeah.
Same facility, same entity that is developing programming in partnership with us, but this is not the final version of the agreement. This is just an MOU to see if all the moving parts that are out there can come together for an agreement, but primarily the main ingredient is the money, is the funding.
Right.
So if the funding doesn't all get to the table, then there ultimately won't be an agreement. For now, the MOU represents the school corporation, in theory, committing the building for this whole operation to work, right? But you haven't signed on the dotted line for the long-term commitment yet. It's just the MOU.
That we need to sign.
It's not even before you yet. If they can't get all of the funding that's necessary to do this, you don't want to get stuck in a long-term agreement for the use of Carrigosh. So it's an MOU that just demonstrates for their own funding purposes that they've got an arrangement with us.
But we don't sign nothing.
This MOU you will sign, but
Okay.
what I'm saying is it's not the final agreement. There still will be a subsequent document sometime between now and June 30th, if all goes well. If they get all of their funding lined up, they'll be presenting to you again to say, hey, here's the progress that we've made. We've secured funding here, we've secured funding there. I know there's some discussion about the city contributing a portion as well. So if all those things end up lining up, then there'll be an agreement as to exactly how this is all gonna work, including the distribution of lease payments as part of the deal for some of the people that would be, or entities that would be occupying the space at Carrigosh. So there's a lot going on there, but for right now, this is just an MOU saying, yes, we're committed to exploring this idea further, and the parties need to continue to work towards putting all the pieces in place necessary, and you have until June 30th to make it happen. That's basically where we are with the MOU.
To June the 30th.
Correct.
Is
We
it,
have to June the 30th, they have June the
Well,
30th.
all we have to do is supply the building, so we don't need to do anything. We need to sit back and see if everyone else gets everything in place. So they have until June 30th.
So basically, this is a follow-up from
Correct.
right.
when
It's
we,
an extension of the prior MOU.
okay.
And so is that, so this doesn't account for the other entities that want to come in? Do they got to June the 30th as well?
Yes. it's-
Everybody does.
CWI has to coordinate with all the other people who are involved to make sure that they've done what they need to do to come to the table and sign an actual agreement.
Probably why they asked for the extension.
Yeah,
Right.
okay.
I got a question. So CG Properties, are they the managing partners of the, if everything goes through, or we're not even there yet? In terms of the management of the properties, because to my understanding that once the funds come together, most likely there'll be a nonprofit arm that would be managing the facility.
Correct. That's right.
Okay,
Yep.
but that's later.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, any more questions? Okay, Dr. Bonet, you can move on.
Item 5.03 is the approval of the E-rate internet and wide area access. This was previously on last board meeting. It was tabled unto this board meeting. Either Mr. Harris can just share the differences between the previous agreement.
So let me see if in this version changed. One second. So there were some provisions in the agreement which are also included in the version you see here that we requested of their attorney be removed. It really doesn't have to do with the substance of the agreement as far as price or payment. It had to do with provisions such as Section 6, which is dispute resolution. It's page 10 of the agreement. It describes a process that requires us to go to arbitration, and we ask that those be removed. I don't think they've provided us with a clean copy with those provisions removed yet. There were some others that we had some conversations and agreed to, like, the provisions were okay. But this is one, for example, that does need to come out. Another example of something that needed to come out is, if you see at the bottom of the agreement, it says 2015 NITCO Commercial Service Agreement. They've been kind of using a similar format since that time, and we told them that needed to be updated. So there's some cleaning up on their attorneys in that, because this is their document, not ours, that needs to happen. So hopefully that happens before the meeting tomorrow, and we can switch it out. But it is a couple of provisions that we need to see deleted. Again, doesn't change the nature of the service being provided or the price, but there are some terms there that we really don't want to see in the agreement.
They
And
need
so
to
long
change some
as
agreement.
that, yes, so long as we receive the clean version of this, then I would also recommend approval as well. But until we get that, we're kind of in the same place we were last meeting.
So Attorney Harris, this is kind of like, kind of more or less state mandated.
Yes. Yeah, the arrangement
Yeah.
for E-rate, it's a standard process that we're following. So again, we're not questioning any of that either. It's just some of the provisions in the agreement, like, that requires us to go to arbitration. That does not always work out the best. There's not always a winner or a loser in arbitration. It requires compromise when sometimes we don't need compromise. We need a decision to be made one way or the other, so. But anyway, hopefully that gets all cleaned up before tomorrow's meeting.
Thank you.
There are no other questions for 5.03. We can move on to 5.04, which is the new start time for Block Middle School and Central High School. Questions from the board?
Any questions from the board?
Madam President, I just got one question with regards
Trustee
to,
Rodriguez?
okay, so block would be at 8:30 a.m. to 3:30?
Pardon?
Block would be 8:30, 3:30? Okay. And information to parents has already been, let me ask you this. Has they started the 8:30, 3:30?
No, this won't go into effect till next school year.
Oh, next school, oh, okay, gotcha.
Just for next
Okay.
school year.
Okay.
And then part of that, once the board approves, we will start a plan to communicate to all of our families the new start time.
Okay.
So they'll be aware of it before the school year is over, throughout the summer, and of course, when school starts.
Okay. Thank you.
Any more questions? Well, so is it Dr. Bonet for you? Okay.
Those are all the items for new business. President Gibson King.
Thank you. Well, this adjourns our meeting. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Madam President, make a motion to adjourn.
Motion made by trustee Rodriguez and second by trustee Taylor. Meeting is adjourned.